Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Zesty or Testy podcast. I am your host, Testy McNasty. With me, as always, is Zesty Tito de la Pinga.
What's up, man?
Nothing much, man.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
No, yes, we already passed that. This is our Christmas episode. I'm wearing my Christmas shirt.
Had we done something since Thanksgiving?
I don't remember the last time we recorded.
Because it was so close.
Yeah.
I think, Thanksgiving to
Happy
December.
Thanksgiving to you.
Thank you. Anyway,
Happy
you were saying
early Christmas to you.
Thank you.
We always start this podcast off with a toast.
And a drink.
The Tiger King is supposed to show up sometime today, so we're just going to get started, and when he calls in, we'll switch over to that format. But in honor of the... Go ahead.
I'm just going to add, he is going to hopefully show up today, but that doesn't mean he wasn't with us 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, so this is just a follow-up.
This is the follow-up.
Yeah.
He could not do back-to-back phone calls. He could only do
For
one
obvious
at a time.
reasons.
He's in prison.
Federal mandates. I don't
Federal
know.
mandates, yeah. In honor of the Tiger King, I saw a tiger, and now I understand. I saw a tiger, and the tiger saw a man. Choose.
Salud.
Do you remember that song from the Tiger King?
No.
You didn't even watch the full documentary,
No.
bro.
No, I didn't finish it. But I know Eye of the Tiger because I saw Rocky.
Today I would like to talk about Christmas in the trenches. Are you aware of Christmas in the trenches?
You know what? Last time I heard of that was never, so tell me about it. No fucking clue what you're talking about, dude.
So, World War I
Mm-hmm.
was the first modern war that we've ever had. Because before World War I, maybe you had muskets.
Yeah.
Usually you would just have two sides with swords and armor.
Yeah.
They would just line up and charge into each other in an empty field.
Yeah.
Even after the invention of muskets, war was kind of like a gentleman's sport.
Whoa.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
That's right.
Except back in the day before World War I, because the commanders and barons and stuff, they would charge out. They would wear bright colors, like the French generals would have yellow shirts and big red plumes on their hat. Like, you wouldn't have that today. Today, everybody's camouflaged, trying to hide in the mud.
Maybe they thought the plumage would hide them, From what, I don't know.
No,
But
they wanted to be there. They wanted
to be known.
They wanted to be known. They wanted to be known as the general or the whatever they were. And it was considered, you would go to war and you would come back a man because it was a gentleman's sport. And then World War I came and the invention of the machine gun. And the machine gun turned war into what is known as a meat grinder because they would just pat, 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 and just bodies all over the floor.
Yep.
So nobody really expected what World War I was going to be. The war started. Was this the one that was triggered by the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand? All these treaties kicked in, boom, boom, this country got involved, this country involved. So everybody walked in expecting to be like wearing the plumage, you go to war and come back a man. And it was not that because machine gunners, times had changed. Machine gunners would sit there and like level the entire playing field. So what does a fox or a rabbit do when they're in danger?
They hide?
They dig down into the ground.
Yeah.
Which is why all along the Britain-German border, along France, they just dug trenches, and this became known as trench warfare.
Correct.
And everybody thought the war would be short because wars before this usually were short.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't dig into the ground and like not move and then just like shoot anybody who walks across a little no man's land.
Yep.
You just went and fought your war. One side won, one side lost, and everybody went home.
Yep.
So even with the invention of trench warfare, everybody thought, oh, trench warfare, okay, they build these deep trenches into the ground. When they would rotate people out and like the new soldiers would come in, they would walk into this little ditch and they'd be hunkered down. They'd be like, okay, where's the trench? And they're like, this is the trench. Because it wasn't like towards the end of the war, they had these long, sophisticated trenches that you would see in the movie. But this time period that I'm talking about, it was just kind of a little ditch, and you just kind of had to be hunkered down there. And you wanted to be leaning against the wall that faced the enemy, because if you leaned against a wall that was far away from the enemy, the shrapnel and the bullets could still catch you there. It was not a full trench. It was just like a ditch that they were just kind of hiding.
Literally a foxhole.
Literally a foxhole.
Mm-hmm.
So, when it rained, They weren't set up for this. They didn't have any kind of bilge pumps or anything. They didn't even have buckets or shovels. Well, they had shovels to dig the ditch. But the main people that would be scooping out the trench from all the water had soup ladles. Because they expected to feed the soldiers. They didn't expect to be shoveling out water from a trench. So the people that were on ladle duty, they would get the ladle in and they would fling the water out, and they would kind of hold their hand up there for a while because they were hoping to get shot in the hand. That way you could go home and celebrate Christmas with your family, and you weren't going to be shot in the head or shot in the heart in no man's land.
Yeah. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Trench warfare is crazy.
Huh. Wow.
Everybody expected to be home by Christmas. Christmas started coming, and nobody was going home. It was kind of weird. It's not like ceasefires had never happened during World War I, because there would be times that they'd be shooting everybody, and then and you're talking about like 40 yards away, 50 yards away, like maybe on the other side of that fence, you could see the Germans if you're a British soldier. And so you call out to them, hey, we're going to go retrieve our dead. And the Germans would go like, hey, we're going to retrieve our dead too, and we won't shoot. So everybody would come out of the foxhole, they'd go get their dead, and they'd bury them. And nobody would shoot. And it was an unwritten rule.
Yeah.
Because if somebody got trigger happy and shot a Brit, well then they're going to open fire on the Germans, and nobody wants that. So they're just trying to retrieve their dead.
Mutual ceasefire?
Yeah, mutual ceasefire. Unofficial.
That's so weird, right? I mean, you think of war nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
This is a way different time. So anyway, even like burying the dead, these were just mass graves. They dig them and throw them in. There's a story where the Brits had buried a bunch of soldiers in the mass grave, and one guy's hand ended up sticking out. So like as they walked along, they were all just giving the hand a high five, and I think they named him Daryl, even though they didn't know who it was. Like, say hi to Daryl, and they would just high five them as they walked by. And December came, and the war had been going on for a year, and they were like, holy shit, we're not going home, are we? We're going to have to celebrate Christmas in the trenches. So as Christmas came, as it got closer and closer, in certain places the firing kind of stopped a little bit, and Germans would start singing Christmas carols, and the British would start singing Christmas carols, and
that's crazy, dude.
Eventually they decided, you know what, we're not going to kill anybody for Christmas.
Is that right?
We were about 300 yards from the Germans, and we had, I think, on Christmas Eve, we'd been singing carols and this, that, and the other, and the Germans had been doing the same, and we'd been shouting to each other, sometimes rude remarks, more often just joking remarks. Eventually, a German said, tomorrow, you no shoot, we no shoot, in the front line.
So, it was an unofficial ceasefire for Christmas Day. Let me light my cigar.
You know, I heard right now you were talking about war, and we were talking about, you know, how much is that changing that? You were talking about the mutual ceasefires, right? So I've got an interesting story I heard. Do you know?
Can I finish?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, Christmas comes, and the Germans are singing songs, and they're kind of like singing back and forth. Yeah, somebody sings a Christmas carol, the British sing a Christmas carol. The Germans eventually end up lighting a tree, and this is before the electric light bulbs. Mm-hmm. They would still pin the little candles to the tree. So they lit up a tree. They went and cut something down, put a bunch of candles on it, and lit it, and lifted it up over the trench and put it at the top.
Yeah.
And so the British said, oh, well, they got a tree, we got to get a tree. So they went and they got a tree, and they lit it up and lifted it over the top. So when the Germans saw that, they started singing a Christmas carol, and they stepped out of the trench and walked into no man's land, where they could have just gotten annihilated if somebody opened up a machine gun. And so the British started singing a Christmas carol, and they stepped out and walked into no man's land. And From home, you would get care packages that would like have chocolate and coffee and cigarettes. So they started giving gifts to each other. They started exchanging chocolate, exchanging cigarettes, exchanging whatever they could. Somebody pulled out a soccer ball, and they had a soccer game.
No kidding.
Hold on. Why is
You gonna tell me there's a movie made out of this?
No, I
But
don't
there
know.
ought
if
to
there's a
be.
movie. There ought to be. Why is the sound not playing?
We're experiencing technical difficulties thanks to Testy over here. He's looking for the story, I guess, where the both sides, military sides,
Bro,
engaged in a soccer game. Which goes back to what I've always said: a true world sport, soccer, not football.
And then from somewhere, somehow, this football appeared. Was it a proper football? It was a proper football. But we didn't form a team. It wasn't a team game in any sense of the word. You know, it was a kick-about. Everybody was having a go. It came from their side. It wasn't from our side where the ball came.
How many people were taking part, do you think?
Well, I should think there'd be at least a couple of hundred.
Did you kick the ball?
Oh, yes, I did go at it. I was pretty good then, 19.
so they had soccer games. It wasn't like a competitive, like Germans versus British.
Yeah.
It was just like they were just fucking around. They were just enjoying Christmas because they couldn't go home and be with their families. They couldn't do anything but fight each other.
Yeah.
And so then, and this was not across the entire front because there was still like several sections of the war where they were still fighting each other. So like only certain sections like had this little Christmas moment, but it was kind of sporadic. Like this little section right here, we all went out and kicked a soccer ball around with each other. That section over there, they were still fighting. They didn't even give a fuck. Over on the other side of that, there was other people that got up and celebrated Christmas together.
That's so interesting, man.
The most interesting thing about it is like after Christmas over, for like 3 weeks after, they were trying to shoot over each other's heads. There was like a significant drop in deaths in the war because nobody wanted to actually shoot at each other. They wanted to shoot. The generals would be like, "All right, open fire," and so they would just aim over their enemies' heads, and nobody was getting shot. And then like weeks went by, and the generals are like, "You know what? Fuck this. If you don't start killing people, we're gonna start shooting you." So the war went back to normal, and then World War I stretched on for years and years and years. But it's just amazing that like the common belief in Jesus, the common belief in the celebration of Christmas can form a little pause in the war that nobody expected, and that's Christmas in the trenches. They celebrated Christmas together. Their enemies together. They stopped fighting for about 3 weeks and like had a little Christmas celebration.
What does that tell you? What does that say about war, dude?
Humanity does not want to kill each other.
So why does it happen?
Because the rich need the wars to happen so that they can expand their land.
It's power, right?
It's power.
It sucks, man, because that's exactly what it is. It's about power, and it's unfortunate that it's these poor souls that have absolutely zero to do with it that are the ones that suffer the consequences, right? And case in point, what you just shared, right? And these guys don't want to be there, but they're doing it for their country. And at the end of the day, yeah, you are doing it for your country, but you're doing it for somebody who's just power hungry.
Yeah.
Or to be able to say, yeah, I'm better than everybody. And it's easy for them to say it because they're not the ones out in the, as they say, in the trenches, right?
Exactly.
So sucks ass. But
You wanted to make a point about
no,
modern
it was just because we were talking about war. We were talking about so I heard a story once about why it is that the French and the Brits. So so here in the States, if you want to say something to somebody, or call it something negative, right? What do? We shoot the bird, right? So and it's kind of like, oh, fuck you, right? And you give them the old fuck you, and everybody knows it's the bird, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to Brits, right? It's this.
Mm-hmm. The victory. It's not the victory, but it's like the I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's just that. But you know why that is, right?
No, why is it?
And so this goes back to, I don't know, call it 1700s, with the French and the Brits, right?
Sure.
Were fighting a war. Now, we're talking about years where you would fight wars with bows and arrows,
Sure.
right? So, British bows were intended to be, they were made for accuracy, right?
Okay.
French bows were used not so much for accuracy, but for
Penetration?
well, no, it was more for mass casualties. So
Oh.
what they would do is, while a Brit could actually aim at somebody and shoot them,
Yeah.
the French would just shoot up in the air masses of bows and hoping that it would just strike somebody.
Yeah.
So theirs were used for distance, where the other ones Brits were used for accuracy. Now the difference was that for accuracy you could use anything, any finger. For distance, for accuracy you needed these two fingers.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, the Brits are going, I'm doing this for accuracy, you're a little bitch.
well, no. So when they would capture a British soldier, they would take off his fingers.
Oh, fuck!
Right?
Oh,
They would
fuck.
chop off his fingers, and
So he
so
couldn't
he
shoot
could
the
no
bow?
longer shoot his bow for accuracy.
Holy shit!
And so the French would go up to the Brits and go, "Look, I got my two fingers, motherfucker."
Mhm.
So that was the whole story behind us doing this, which I really don't know the significance, right? Other
Well, I
than
thought
it's
it was a
bird.
dick. I thought it was a dick and two
Well, yeah.
balls.
Well, that's what it seems like, right?
Yeah.
But for a Brit, if you do this, that's worse than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because somebody lost their two
So
fingers.
basically, it's telling you, I got my two fingers, bitch. You can't do anything about it, right? You
Yeah.
can't. What are you gonna do? Shoot me?
Yeah.
Right.
You can't, because
yeah.
you can't draw a bow.
Right. So
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was.
That's even more interesting than my story.
I had a good friend and former boss that shared that story. I was like, interesting, and that's because the story goes that there was, I don't know, we were watching some movie, or he was sharing a movie, and he said, notice one thing. He goes, when you go, there was this guy trying to infiltrate, and I saw it. I wish I could remember the movie. He was trying to infiltrate some kind of British folks, right, or British military. And when he goes into the bar, they ask him, "Hey," he says, "Bring me 2 drinks,"
Yeah.
right? And the British didn't say anything, but they realized this motherfucker's not British, because he would have asked for 2 drinks, not 2 drinks.
Oh,
So British, when they ask for 2, they will not do that.
because it's an offensive gesture.
Yeah, because to them it's kind of like me saying, "Hey, bring me 1 drink,"
Yeah.
again, right? No, so you say, "Hey, let me get 1 more," right?
Yeah.
So the Brits will not say, "Bring me 2 drinks."
Yeah.
They'll say, "Bring me 2," right?
Yeah.
Or they'll just say, "Bring me 2,"
Yeah.
right?
They won't do that.
gesture, right?
'Cause,
And so the story is, this guy was trying to infiltrate some kind of military secrets from the British, and they didn't know whether to trust this guy. And when the guy said, "Hey, bring us two more rounds," they're like,
There's a famous picture of Winston Churchill doing this. I guess it's like he's flipping the bird to the camera.
It could have been, but we all know that also his was about peace, right? Because
Yeah.
you would always do the.
Well, I think this means something different in America than it does in.
Well, I think for him it was more like, "Come and get me, motherfucker! I got both my fingers," right? Because that guy was not one to back down.
There was some other movie where a German was trying to infiltrate, and he asked for 3 of something, and instead of holding it up like this, he held it up like this,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, he's German. That's how Germans hold fingers up."
Yeah,
And,
yeah. It's
ever
so
since-
funny, right?
Ever since I saw that movie, I started doing it like this because I just thought it was a cooler way to
To ask for 3.
ask for 3 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I just right now when you were talking about it, I just thought that was a funny story that, why it is that you don't go up to a Brit and go, and it's not like that. It's more like,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like we throw the bird, right? Because you don't throw the bird like that.
I wonder if this is a bastardization of this. If they just somehow when it got to America, we were so lazy
We were too.
too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Fuck that! I'm gonna do half the
fuck
effort.
that shit. I'm like, dude, I got it's just one. One's enough. I want you to go fuck yourself, but not really, really go fuck yourself, right? So anyway.
This is our Christmas episode, so we're drinking Elf Dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody this week about it.
Yeah.
And I said, it was originally called vodka transfusion. You remember that?
You had a candy cane?
We added a
Did you
candy
drop
cane.
yours in?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, because I noticed that as I started dropping it, it started getting really like
Minty?
pepperminty.
Yeah.
It was really good.
You add the peppermint and it becomes elf dick.
Yeah. So
You only have to
there it is.
jack off the elf a little bit before.
Yeah. No. You literally just kind of like, and then drop it in there and lick your fingers
It's
and
delicious.
you're good. And it tastes so minty.
And it's so nice and breezy because you have a nice open hole in your fist right
Oh
there.
yeah. So, what's today? Sunday. Friday. I'm out of town working. My wife calls me. She's like, "Did you see the picture I just sent you?" I said, "No." So if you can't just somewhere if they put the picture, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
She goes, "Take a look at the picture I just sent you." So I take a look at the picture, and it's a picture of this wall. More specific, it's the wall to our backyard.
Yeah. Right
Okay.
there.
And so I've got a busy street. For those who know where I live, I've got a busy street behind me. We've been at this house for 14 years.
This is the first time somebody ran through the
First
wall?
time anything like this has ever
It's
happened.
like a solid brick wall. It looks like there's two
it's
layers.
It's a two-sided brick wall. It's a brick on our side, brick on the outside. And so since this is the side or the area where I guess the subdivision, it's the beginning of the subdivision, the outer side of the subdivision, whatever you want to call it, instead of having just picket fences, we have a wall.
Yeah.
Well, my wife is here, and she's working, and all of a sudden she hears this loud noise. And she doesn't think anything of it because there's been so much construction on this street. But then she hears police officers, right? And she comes out to check, and lo and behold, somebody had run into our wall, and as you can see, they left all this brick there.
So
No.
in the picture, is the car still like parked
Yes.
inside?
But here's the best part. Guess what color the car was?
I don't know.
It was black and white.
The car was a police car?
It was
The cop crashed into your wall? Holy shit, what was the cop doing?
So-
Catching Pokemon?
Yes, that's what he said. He goes, man,
No shit.
Yes.
The cop was catching Pokemon.
He said there was one in my yard.
Shut up.
He's like, I knew that if I went through the front of the house, I was going to miss it. So I had to come in through the backside. I just didn't know there was a tree there. There was a double brick wall. No,
Seriously,
so
what
happened?
did the cops say?
So the guys coming down this pretty busy road, and mind you, Friday, you remember, it was misty and rainy
Sure.
and drizzly.
Yeah, it was an
and
ugly day.
It was just an ugly day. And so he's giving chase. He's following someone, right? And he's chasing somebody at a high rate of speed. But as you know, and as I mentioned, there's large construction starting like at 6 a.m. every morning.
Yeah.
And so apparently, and I know I had seen some city or work vehicles, as he's chasing down whoever it is, this vehicle pops out, and it's a construction vehicle.
Oh.
And the officer, I guess, in the process of trying to avoid hitting the construction truck,
Swerved and hit your wall.
swerved to and overcorrected. And of course, the tiny little, you hit the brake mildly, and with the weather the way it was, you're going to go sliding everywhere.
Okay.
So next thing you know, I've got an officer inside my yard. So yeah, you can clearly see the SAPD vehicle inside our
I think
yard.
some of the bricks still say serve and protect.
Yeah, they do. Somebody asked me what happened. I said, they were here. They raided our house. They arrested my wife. But anyway.
So is the city going to fix your wall?
So I don't know. Originally, my wife wanted us to patch it up, like put some plywood, because of course we don't want.
The dog getting out?
Well, our dog's too scared, dude. As you can see, she won't even get close to that. But originally, my wife just wanted us to put some plywood just for now, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, we got a call coming in, and I think it's from our friend.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and accept it.
From a federal prison. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from
Joe.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. To accept this call, press 5. To block this call and all future calls, you may begin speaking now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Exotic, how you doing, sir?
Good, how are
considered in prison, I'm okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know it could be better for you, but I appreciate you calling in. Welcome again to the Zesty and Testy podcast.
Hey, it's me, Zesty Joe. Thank you for joining us again.
I appreciate you giving me a voice, man.
So, we didn't get to ask you any questions last time. The 15 minutes kind of flew by, so if...
It does go by fast, yeah, so you ask me anything you want, man.
All right, sir. I follow your Instagram, and you said you had something to say about Joe Biden pardoning his son, Hunter?
Yeah, first of all, they can't say that the system is weaponized against him because it was his Department of Justice that prosecuted him, right? So that's all bullshit, Did we expect him to pardon him? Absolutely, because if he'd have won, he could have pardoned him and he had nothing to lose. If he lost, he could have pardoned him and had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So we knew it was coming. But this should be a slap in the face to every American that has ever been in trouble for taxes or a gun charge or that is currently in trouble. And it just goes one step further to prove that the justice system is two tiers for the elite and the rich, and who you know, and the poor people that ain't got shit for defense.
Amen. It's not about black or white. It's all about the green.
It is, and then what's he do? He pardons another 1,500 people that ain't even in jail. Okay. So what did that do to lighten the justice system or the prison system?
Exactly.
But and then I saw on the news that he just pardoned some crooked ass judge or something.
Oh yeah, Cash for Kids. He was getting kickbacks to put kids in prison for minor drug offenses. I saw that.
Yeah, isn't that insane? Well, I mean, where's the pardons for the people that have served time that got screwed over?
Or the Joe Exotics of America.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
But
this is a comment from one of our listeners, az.caden. I don't know who this guy is, but he said, Tiger King married my gay cousin in prison. Did you get remarried, Joe Exotic?
Okay, no wait. Caden, that sounds like one of Seth's friends. No, we were never married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and actually, we broke up.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I moved on, and I promised the prison that I wouldn't talk about it, but
Okay. We don't have to talk about it.
I'm engaged to another person in prison, and he's amazing. But yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yes, sir. Did you have any questions?
No, go ahead.
I read your autobiography, sir. In your autobiography, you said your older brother GW saw Bigfoot one time. Did he give you any description of Bigfoot, or was this just...
Yeah, no. Actually, when we lived in Wyoming, we saw it, and we lived in a population of 50 people up in the mountains, just a little mountain town.
Yeah.
And half of the people that night saw the same thing, walking across the same hillside.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're convinced that there's a Bigfoot.
What did he say it looked like, though?
Just a 7-foot man, except covered in hair and walking upright. Yeah.
Yeah. If you were to get, what is the food that you miss the most in prison? If you were to get out today, if you went to a restaurant or you had a home cooked meal, what would be the first thing that you ordered?
A steak.
Just straight up steak, salt and pepper, a little butter, maybe.
Just a plain old ribeye steak, man.
Amen, sir.
Well, hopefully that'll be happening for you soon.
I hope. There's so many people voicing their opinion to Trump. If he passes me up again, there's no hope for this.
Yeah. Well, I am praying for you, sir. I filled out the little paperwork trying to submit to Trump to get you pardoned. I hope you do get pardoned because I don't think you...
Hey,
go ahead.
Did you fill out that Pardon 47 thing?
I did, sir.
The founders of Pardon 47 actually recommended me to Trump, too.
Hey!
Yeah, they just put out a huge press release just 2 or 3 days ago.
Nice.
And they actually the people who founded that website for Trump actually nominated me too.
Well, good. We're
So
happy.
my name's got to be on that list, man.
It's on the list somewhere. I hope it comes through for you, sir.
And then I'm gonna have people reach out to I forget that lady's name, the black lady that Trump pardons, the older black lady that has like a life sentence for drugs.
Oh.
He pardoned her. Kim Kardashian got him to pardon her.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
during the first term. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, she actually is collecting names to recommend for a pardon too. So I'm gonna have my people get a hold of her tomorrow.
Nice.
Well, I think we can do our part because I know who you're talking about. Of course, I don't know her, but I mean,
Yeah,
whatever we
but
can do to help out.
Yeah, she's bound to have social media somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, one thing I was going to say, since you mentioned ribeye steak,
This call is from a federal prison.
there you
You
go.
what, sir?
I was going to say, since you did mention ribeye steak, I'm going to tell you, and I'm hopeful that you will be out, you will be pardoned, and you will be out soon. And hopefully, I know you're a popular man, and everybody wants a little bit of Joe, but I'd like to one day be able to, Zesty and I, sit down either
Oh yeah.
in Oklahoma or wherever you might be, and we'd like to be one of the first to take you out for a steak dinner, man.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Count on it. What part of the world are you in?
We're in San Antonio.
We're just,
Oh, okay.
we're
No,
just down the
hell no.
road.
You're in Dallas right now,
Yeah.
aren't you?
I'm in Fort Worth. Yes.
Forward, yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the premise of this podcast is we make an alcoholic beverage and we smoke a cigar. So we love to have you right here in the middle smoking a cigar. And I don't even know if you smoke, but have an alcoholic beverage with us.
I don't smoke
Not
or drink,
cigars.
but I'll tell you what, boys. If I make it out of here and we get to sit down and eat a steak and I'll smoke a cigar and have a beer with you. You
All
bet your
right,
ass.
sir.
Well, you've got our word. You've got a promise that if this goes hopefully the way we all want it to go, we will find you, and I'm hoping that you'll give us some time just to sit down and enjoy your company and enjoy a nice steak dinner with you.
Well, you know, if the plan, you ever listen to John Clay Wolf, the radio show every Saturday?
No.
He owns that company called GiveMeYourVin.com.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. His name's John Clay. All right. Well, anyway, I do his radio show every morning at 10 o'clock.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from here. And he is already put together a huge party in Dallas, a release party. They're going to come get me if this all pans out. And then we're going to have a big old party in Dallas. So you might hook up with my people and they can give you JD's email.
Okay.
And yes, they're talking about Don Jr. being there and everything. So yeah, that'll be my first stop, and then I'll be staying in Dallas for a few days with a friend, and then come down to San Antonio and spend some time with you. Yeah, because you know I don't have a home. I'm homeless.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But I'm probably gonna land, in Pensacola, Florida, because that's my favorite place on earth.
Yeah.
Until I can get George out, and he's scheduled to be deported, in May,
Oh.
unless I can keep him in America.
Yeah.
But if I can't keep him in America, I'll be calling Mexico my home.
Yeah.
Well, if you call Mexico your home, tell you what, we'd be more than happy to go visit you over there.
Yeah.
Johnny here's from Laredo, so that's right on the border.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with Mexico and the border towns and interior of Mexico. So either way, Joe, look, I'm going to tell you, after our first conversation, and I did not know what to expect of Joe Exotic, but I shared with everybody, I'm like, he's such an eloquent, well-spoken man. I said, it's not what I expected.
No, because, everybody has to be wrong. Because, everything that they showed on Tiger King was from my reality show that we filmed, And that was supposed to be real outlandish and off the cuff, because that's what people were watching,
Yeah.
And that's that's what people were expecting. But the real me, man. I have done nothing but take care of sick little kids and feed the homeless, and there's a whole side of me that the world doesn't even really know.
Well, I learned a lot from you on our first podcast, or the first time we had you on, and like I told everybody, listen on, because it was a pleasure seeing a different side of Joe Exotic. And to your point, we saw what the TV channels or the media wants us to watch or wants us to know about you.
And you saw the agenda, you know.
Absolutely.
Because, like I tell everybody that I interview with, if this was about taking care of tigers or me abusing animals, they would have showed Saf that lost your arm sitting in front of a tiger cage talking about saving tigers. But instead they put her in a junkyard to make it look like my zoo was a piece of shit. Yeah. And then who in the hell interviews a hitman in a bathtub? You know what I'm saying?
Crazy. Yes, sir. Sir, I read your autobiography. It was a great book. I highly recommend it to everybody. I have a very deeply personal question I'd like to ask you. And if I'm crossing the line with this question, tell me to go fuck myself, and I will.
Look, there is no line with me. You ask anything you want.
So when your father found out that you were gay, he made you shake his hand and promise that you would not attend his funeral. But he is the motherfucker that molested you when you were a kid. Where the fuck does he get off giving you shit when he's got pedophilia tendencies himself?
And what's crazy is over the years, my dad turned out to be my biggest fan.
Yeah.
But in 55 years, I never heard him say I love you.
Oh, shit.
And you got to be careful what you wish for, because I was in prison when he died, so I didn't get to go to his funeral. So
That's horrible. That's horrible.
It all came around, But my brother is the one that I'll never forgive.
Yeah. He also molested you. Not GW, but the other one.
Right, Gary. Right.
You still don't talk to him?
No, I haven't spoken to him since my brother died in 1997.
Yeah, GW.
And that was just at the funeral. Other than that, I quit. He disowned me in 1982 when I called him out on it.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta cut toxic people out of your life to move on and make yourself better.
This call is from a federal prison.
He did that growing up, and then when I was a teenager, he was the first one to ever introduce me to hard drugs.
Oh, shit.
He's the one that introduced me to cocaine. Yeah.
That's a hell of a drug, apparently. I've heard lots of things that really derails a lot of people.
Yeah. None of it was for me. My addiction was to become somebody, and look where it got me.
Amen, sir. You're a spectacular human being, sir. I've loved learning about you. I loved reading your book, sir. I highly recommend it to anybody that wants to know more about Joe Exotic. Read the autobiography, because it's very interesting.
I'm in the process of writing another book.
Oh.
And I'm struggling with the title of it. I don't know if I want to call it Kidnapped in America or something else, but it's gonna tell the real story, because nobody knows the real story of what really went on at that zoo.
Yeah.
With Jeff and Lauren and James and all them. And there's so many victims out there that will never see justice because they made a deal with Jeff and James to lie in order to put me here. So all of their crimes and the people they've raped and sexually abused and everything else at the zoo, they all got away with it.
That was
it's all going to come out. It's all going to come out in the book.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Do you have a release date, or is it done, or are you still writing it?
Oh, I just started it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
But, hey guys, this thing beeped, which means it's going to hang up. Have everybody get on JoeExoticOfficial.com. Help me with the lawyer bill. Look at the evidence link. Tell everybody around the world I love them. If it wasn't for the supporters, I would have never made it this far.
We love you too, Joe Exotic.
Have a happy holiday,
get on Trump's page and raise hell, though.
Yes,
Okay?
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas.
Right on time.
All right. Well, fuck, that was good.
It was awesome, dude. I'm gonna say it again for those of you who, and again, I didn't finish the show, but I'm one of those people, like most, that got to know Joe from the Netflix series, and it's so unfair to now that I've actually spoken to Joe Exotic, to judge him based off of that. He is not the guy that you see on the show, you know.
Yeah.
But this goes back to what you said. You know, when we first started the podcast, and I'm not talking today, I'm just talking in general, right?
Yeah.
When we first started podcasting, you said, you and I had this different belief, or where do you get your news from, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And this goes to show that whether it's news media or just, Hollywood, I'm going to call it, right?
People have an agenda that they want to show you.
Exactly, and the agenda is, you're going to fall for that agenda, right? And so you believe that this is the person they are because I saw it on Netflix, or they showed their biography. And this goes to show this was his. Now, Netflix, Tiger King was not a biography.
Yeah.
But we believe that it was his life. And so, you look at something like that and you realize and I'd say you watch something like that and then you listen to Joe Exotic and you realize it's night and day, man.
I know.
It's night and day.
So, I texted you when Trump was about to go on Joe Rogan's podcast. I said this is a shift change in reality because a majority, the election proves that a majority of people get their news from podcasts instead of from mainstream media, the corporate-owned media. You and I are the motherfucker mainstream. Look at us.
Yeah.
We're interviewing Joe Exotic. We are breaking the barriers of mainstream media. It's you and me, brother.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's why I said I was happy. Does everybody believe it? Look, I shared it with my wife. My wife still has a hard time believing it because she wasn't present. And again, she doesn't watch our podcast.
Yeah.
But like I told her, I said, it's not who I thought he was. And he said it best right now, right?
Yeah.
Everybody believes I am this white trash guy because that's what Netflix put on there, right, for you to see.
Yeah.
And that was their interpretation of what they wanted you to believe Joe Exotic was.
Yeah.
But when you talk to the guy, like I told you that last time, he's a pretty eloquent speaker. And mind you, what do you do when you're in jail, right? Educate yourself, right? Reform yourself if you can, right?
Hopefully. Hopefully. Not everybody does.
But I mean, it sounds like he's
But if you got nothing but time, you might as well make yourself a better person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that I hope he gets his pardon, I really do.
Yeah.
Just yesterday I was having a conversation with my wife about, this gentleman that's in jail, right, or potentially going to jail for having like 40 or 50 grams of marijuana on him. I'm like, who the fuck goes to jail for 50 grams of marijuana anymore, dude?
It's ridiculous.
Right?
That shit should have been legalized a long time ago.
Our jails are overcrowded. I'm not saying, look, if it was for medicinal, good. If it wasn't and it was recreational, and this person's not doing anything wrong,
put him in counseling.
That's yeah,
he'd be better as a.
But jail?
Yeah.
You're only sending a person that, and I've met this person, and he's a good person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And can I tell you that people make mistakes? It's not a mistake anymore. I mean, it seems like everybody and their mothers, when I turn around, everybody's smoking pot, right?
Yeah.
So, do I think that that it's wrong? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I believe that you can't incarcerate somebody and expect that they're going to get better over 50 grams of marijuana. So anyway, it is what it is. That's my point.
Murder, rape, and theft. Those are the only things that people should be going to jail for.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Holding something that you're not supposed to be holding, we've got to figure out something different than just holding them captive in a cage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I would love to stay in chit chat here with you, but I think we might need to
pause for the cause.
Pause for the cause.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right.
Yes, sir.
Be right back.
Yes, sir. So I just asked Joe Exotic a personal question. Now I would like to ask you a personal question. How's your health doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, dude. I'm almost like Superman. Now, Superman had a thyroid problem. No, so my health overall is fine, and I had shared this with you sometime back. I had something called nodules on my thyroid, both sides, and so I found this out like back in April, so it's been almost like 8 months, 9 months, I guess, since this happened, and I've been going back and forth with ultrasound, CT scans, and biopsies, and fast forward 7 months, and I was told, depending on the size of the nodules, you may or may not have to have them removed.
Yeah.
Right. And so anything over 4.5 centimeters.
So you had a biopsy and these were benign, correct?
Well, at the time I had a total of 3 biopsies.
Yeah.
Right. And each time the results came back atypical.
Oh shit.
Which essentially means that
we don't know what the
we
fuck.
cannot assess that it's malignant nor benign. We just don't know, right? And so there was not enough evidence in the specimen or in the pathology to be able to determine whether it was malignant or benign. So here's what the suggestion was: if it's anything over 4.5 centimeters large as a nodule, and mind you, I had this giant bump right here. For those of you who didn't know. And my neck is fat enough to where people couldn't tell, nor could I, for that matter, obviously, because this isn't something that grew overnight. This is something that had probably been growing for years.
Yeah.
And then one day, 7-8 months ago, I noticed this giant bump on my neck.
Yeah.
And that's when coincidentally, I had a doctor's appointment 2 days later, told her what was happening. She told me, go get it checked. I'm like, well, I am at the doctor. Shouldn't you be the one checking
Shouldn't
it?
you be checking me?
And she's like, well, I'll check other parts of your body, so drop your pants.
Allah!
And I'm like, oh, why? So anyway, so I put on the condom and
Quit going to the doctor at Costco, man.
Yeah.
You gotta go to a real doctor.
I was at Sam's. In Puerto Vallarta. Woo! I overdid it with a peppermint.
I know.
I told you I should have
It's
just...
so tingly on the lips.
Whew.
We added extra peppermint extract to the elf dick, so
man,
now we're like, well,
Now it's like many elves in there. Anyway, so all this just to say that after the 3rd biopsy, the doctor said, hey, look, again, I'm going to reiterate, over 4.5 centimeters, let's go ahead. It suggested that we remove the nodule. Well, this one on this side was 7.5 centimeters, right? So it was time to
well over 4.
Well over 4.5. This one on the left was 4.5, or about just over 4.5. So we figured, okay, might as well have surgery.
Yeah.
So a week and a half ago, I went in for surgery, had them both removed. Well, you don't just remove the nodules, you remove the thyroid.
Yeah.
So my thyroid is gone, which apparently the thyroid is kind of like a thermostat on a car. It's there for a reason. It does its work.
It regulates your body.
And then you can just get rid of it and just.
Well, now you got to take the little
I
pill.
gotta take the pill for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But so they removed it. Well, get this shit, dude. So my incision was supposed to be about 1 inch to 1.5 inches.
It was too big.
And it was so big
out.
that he had to go almost 3 inches wide.
Yeah.
And
that's what she said.
Well, no, she said something even worse. In fact, he did, which was even worse. No, but when he came out, he did tell my wife. He goes, I had to go much larger than anticipated. I had to reach almost towards the back of his spine.
Oh shit!
Because that thing was so
What
large.
the fuck?
He goes, it was the size of a fist.
Holy shit!
He goes, that was the one on this one on this side.
The one that you could feel.
The one that I could feel.
Yeah.
He goes, I would probably say the size of my fist. And mind you, okay, so my hands are a little bigger than the doctor's. But still, you think of the size of a fist in here.
Yeah.
And that's why he explained to her. He goes, I had to get in there almost to his spine.
God damn.
He goes,
glad you can still walk.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. And then he said, mind you, the one on the left was still very large.
Yeah.
He goes, in fact, larger than the 4.5 we anticipated. He goes,
oh wow.
But I've never removed anything as big as what I removed that time.
Did you get to keep it? Is it in a
it's
little jar?
It's in my freezer.
No shit.
Yeah.
For real.
No, I'm just kidding.
I would have kept it.
So anyway, so they send that to pathology.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
They gotta check it out.
And this past Wednesday, it came back and everything was benign. So
good.
Yeah.
Hey.
So
happy ending to the story.
Yeah, it was good news. It was you know, it's been long awaited, and I say long awaited because I was going back and forth whether I should do it, should not, should do it, should not. It's really weird because you don't know what you don't know, as they say, right?
Amen.
And now I feel like they removed a baby from me, right?
Are you feeling like lighter, or you're like, oh my God?
Well, here's the funny thing.
My knees feel
I
great.
didn't realize that thing was in my way until now that it's not there.
Oh no! Now you can look that way.
Yeah, I'm like, now I can actually go like this. No, I'm just kidding. No, what happens is this thing, you know, like most everything else, things grow with you, right?
Sure.
And so this thing grew from being this big, the size of a pea, and it kept on growing, and it kept on growing. And mind you, you gain weight, you lose weight, and so all this time it's growing. You don't know that it's affecting you because it didn't.
Slowly.
This happened over 4, 5, 6 years, you know. And so not until he removed it was I able to. It's like, wow, you know,
that's crazy.
Holy shit. And I don't necessarily feel this side, but this one I can really
Definitely.
feel the difference. Yeah.
Show off your scar.
So
Look at that shit.
I've got about a
Look at
3-inch scar right here, still healing.
It's Zesty Jr.
Yeah, that's the junior. But it's I'm glad I did it. The only downfall to it is that I hear the medication does take about 2 to 3 months for it to really set in.
Yeah.
And so you just mentioned the thyroid regulates so much.
Yeah.
Right? Your hormones and testosterone and your levels of this, levels of that. And
Yeah. If it's too high, you're running hot. If it's too
Exactly.
low, you're running cold.
And so what I'm feeling right now is lethargy.
Oh,
Dude,
it hasn't kicked in yet.
It hasn't. And so,
You don't seem lethargic.
oh no, dude, I'm telling you. Well, because I take the medication, right? And so initially,
Before breakfast.
So you've got to take it, what's called
Empty stomach.
on an empty stomach. Yes, thank you. You take it on an empty stomach, which most medicine you take with food.
Yeah,
right?
so it doesn't upset your
And
stomach.
so I didn't think much of it. So the first few days that I was taking it, I was like, suck it. So I would take it without food, and then 20 minutes later I'd have a banana or something breakfast, whatever. Well, I didn't realize that all that medicine gets absorbed into the food.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't really kicking into my body.
Yeah.
And so the
It's
problem
supposed to
was
wait an hour. It's supposed to take it and wait an hour. And
30
then
minutes to an hour before you actually take anything else. And so I didn't know that. And so for the first few days, dude, I was dragging like a motherfucker. Don't get me wrong, I still do. But now what I do is, because I've hit that age where I get up around 4:30 or 5 in the morning to go pee,
Pop the pill.
I pop the pill,
Nice.
go back to sleep, wake up at 6:30. I've already taken it, hopefully at that point. So it kicks in and it works wonders. But because I'm still getting adjusted to it, around 5:30 or 6 o'clock, man, lethargy hits. And
That
when,
sucks.
and it's when I tell you I can't get, like I'll sit down and I find it extremely difficult to get back up.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a good friend of ours who had this surgery about 8 years ago, and she said, Johnny, it's going to take about 2-3 months. He goes, for it to kick in, for your body to get adjusted to it. And then I've still got to go to the specialist, to the endocrinologist,
Yeah.
so they can do blood work and determine whether I need to
Increase the dose or decrease
yeah,
the
and
dose.
so
or whatever.
they had started me on like those 50,000 units of
Yeah.
vitamin D, and so he's like, okay, do we need to continue your vitamin D? Do we need to right after the surgery, they gave me like some prescription calcium
Okay.
with vitamin D,
Yeah.
and so he's like, we'll have to determine whether you still need to continue that, remove it, and those are just supplements, but it's supplements that again are regulated by
Thyroid.
the thyroid, right?
Yeah.
So, who knows? But yeah, this has been long awaited. Like I said, most people didn't know what was going on, but it's not something that until I got the procedure done, I didn't really want to talk about it. But
Amen.
as I mentioned to you, it's done. It's benign. I'm happy it's done.
I'm happy you're here, man.
Yeah, no.
I'm happy you're healthy, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and happy
Cheers.
that it's out, man.
Cheers to health.
Thank you,
Bro.
Yeah, I told you I was like Superman. With great breath.
I do have something I want to talk about.
Aside from my wall and my thyroid, could there be anything
There's
else?
still more.
Whoa.
So,
Oh, wait.
I sent you this on TikTok. I don't know if you watched it or not, but apparently meme coins are a thing now.
What?
Okay, so
Well, you sent me something, yeah, but I don't remember if I saw it.
So
Here's the last week and a half. This is me on TikTok.
falling asleep
Yeah,
while you're
dude.
reading it.
Yeah.
Or you're watching it. So there was a kid that created a meme coin, and apparently it's not that difficult to create a meme coin. And crypto is now kind of like a stock. A lot of people are investing in it. There's a lot of bots that invest in it, and so when you create a crypto meme coin, there's bots that it's just looking for brand new crypto that gets because if you can catch it on the ground floor, you can like catch the high rise.
Yeah.
So there's people that like program bots to like buy these cryptos, and then like if you just start a new crypto, it's gonna rise a little bit.
Yeah.
So there was this kid that did this, and hold this to your mic and watch it.
Wait, what?
He said, wait,
Wait,
what?
I'm so confused.
Well, oh, yo, it's nuked. Why is it nuked?
No way. Oh, holy fuck! Holy fuck!
You full clip.
Holy fuck! Thanks for the 20 bandos.
Thanks for
Yeah,
the
he
20
did.
bandos.
Yo, 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 yo.
You can look at it too.
Yo,
He's flipping off the
yo,
camera.
Yo, 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 what the fuck? What the fuck? Nah, bro.
So were they making money?
So this kid created a crypto called Quant,
Uh-huh.
and he released it to purchase through like one of these crypto things, and he rugged it, which is where you create a crypto, you keep most of it for yourself, you put a little bit to be sold, and then when the bots come and buy it, you sell all yours and dump it so you can make money. This kid I put the video up here in post. He created, from the time that he said, "I'm so confused," to the time when he said, thank you for the 20 bandos, that kid made $28,000. So he released the cryptocurrency, people started buying it, and he dumped all his stock, and he made $28,000. And he said, "Thank you for the 20 bandos," and he started flipping off the camera like that.
Uh-huh.
If he had been incognito, if he had not live streamed himself rugging the fucking crypto, he would have walked away with $28,000. But he filmed himself doing it and put it on the internet as he was doing it. And so then he got doxxed, which is where the internet finds out who you are and where you live and your address. Mm-hmm. His mom started getting all these tests from angry investors going, "Your kid just fucking stole $28,000 from me." And fucking apparently he's going to get investigated by the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. Because you're not supposed to just create something and then dump the stock. This is very common in the crypto world.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just scam artists. They just scam and then leave. But this kid was stupid enough to film himself. So he's a juvie. He's in middle school. So like they found his principal. They found everything. But so like he's in trouble now. But he's not gonna do time because he's a juvie.
You got to give it to these kids.
He's
too.
probably gonna have to like pay the $28,000 back, all this shit. But it's incredible that from the time he said, "I'm confused," because it was his first time doing it. From that time to the part where he dumped it and said, "Thank you for the 20 bandos," and flipped off the camera, he made $28,000 and
That's
rugged it
ridiculous.
and got out of the thing. That's not the end of it.
Oh shit.
The end of it is Hawk Tuah Girl is the Hulk Hogan of memes because, people that don't watch wrestling, they know who Hulk Hogan is. People that don't watch Pokemon know who Pikachu is.
Mm-hmm.
People that don't watch the internet know who Hawk Tuah Girl is.
Oh, yeah?
We proved that last podcast. Hawk Tuah Girl created a meme coin. Somebody who created the meme coin, I'm sure she didn't do it herself because she's kind of dizzy.
Yeah. She's Hawk
Created, because she's Hawk Tuah. They created a Hawk Tuah coin.
Uh-huh.
And they kept 97%. They only put 3% out to market.
Oh,
but because she's so popular, it got bought the fuck up. And moments later, after they released it, the 97% got sold to market. Either Hawk Tuah Girl or whoever created the Hawk Tuah coin or whoever's behind it made $3 million fucking dollars. And this bitch is definitely going to get investigated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. She has disappeared off the internet. She had the.
Oh, she did?
She did.
Again?
She had a podcast. She has not done a podcast
Oh,
episode.
no kidding. I was going to say, didn't
since
she just start a podcast?
the last episode was December 3rd. I checked it on my drive here. She has not released a new one because she released a Hawk Tuah coin. Somebody made $3 million and then dumped the fucking coin and then walked away. Somebody else made another meme coin called Hawk Tuah straight to jail. Tuah straight to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And like that meme coin is doing well. But apparently, because I researched this, because the first thing I was like, how the fuck can I make money out of this? I was like, how do you make a crypto coin? Apparently, the legit way to do it is keep like 20% to yourself and put 80% into the market.
Yeah.
You have to put money into it for a liquidity pool, so people that sell the coin can like have some money out.
Yeah.
But she didn't do it the legit way. She only released 3% of the market and then dumped 97%. Or somebody did, because she already put it out on Twitter that wasn't me that dumped it. I don't know who dumped it. Fucking bullshit, right?
Wow.
Fucking Hawk Tuah girl just made $3 million off creating a crypto coin and then rugging it. Or somebody did.
Here recently, my kids were talking about that. Hawk Tuah. And I'm like, do you guys
how do you know that?
Do you guys know what that means? And they're like,
no.
My little one explained to her, well, my sister said that it means this, and I asked her sister, I said, you know what that means? She goes, yeah, well, I'm like, okay, look, let me explain to you guys what that means. They're like, oh, I'm like, okay. All right, then shut up and quit saying that.
So anyway, obviously we can't do it with only 75 subscribers, but I think eventually I would love to release a Zetsi or Testy fucking coin. But
Yeah.
we've got to have people that people that would invest in it. And if we did it, we would do it the legit way, where we only retain 20, put 80% in the market, put a good liquidity pool in there, and not rug it. Because when you rug it, that's like pulling the rug out from somebody else. And that's when you get investigated by the Securities Exchange.
And then we change our name to Gordon Gecko and Gordon Gecko Jr.
And then we move to Mexico and hang out with Joe Exotic after he
That's right.
gets pardoned.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It is crazy how that kid, from the time he said, I'm confused, to the time he said,
Boom.
Thanks for the 20 bandos, he made 28,000. That same amount of time is when Hawk Tuah was released, and they made $3 million, and then rugged it, pulled the rug out from somebody.
crazy.
It's called pump and dump in stock.
Yeah.
But that's what's going on the internet.
Wow, dude. Interesting.
Tales from the Zesty Net. That's what's going on the internet today. You don't like that?
I did. I'm like, that's enough for that. No, just kidding.
Oh, they can make the echo? Bro, we are like so low fucking. We're so low fi.
This is our high technology. Anyway, dude, yeah, it feels like so much happened in the last. When was the last time we talked? 2 weeks ago?
It was 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's been a while.
I meant to tell Joe Exotic. So we took a little trip to New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
For the Thanksgiving holiday.
Okay.
And I was thinking about his ranch, zoo, right? The petting tigers and all this stuff. As we were leaving New Orleans, as we were leaving Louisiana, I should say, right? Maybe about an hour and a half outside of the border.
You stopped at a roadside tiger farm?
At a roadside gator farm.
Oh, shit.
Right? Where you could pet baby alligators.
Yeah.
Which is, and I'm thinking to myself, how is this any different, right? How are you now?
It's not.
It's not. Now the difference is, this was free.
Oh shit!
Right? Like you just pull over, but I think it's part of the state. Like
you're
the state,
allowed to.
And the only reason I say it's a really nice. It looks like a rest area, right? Really nice. They got soda machines and snacks, and it's a nice little park.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of the place we were in. It's a little town, but what was interesting about it is that, and this is why I say it, I don't know if it was part of the state, but the girl asked. She goes, "Did you want to go in and pet the alligators?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely."
Yeah.
she said, okay. I said, do I pay with you? She goes, no, it's actually free. I
Nice.
just need to get some information. And I said, okay. She
You have
goes,
to sign a liability waiver and all that
no,
shit?
not even that.
Oh,
dude.
wow.
No, because they're baby alligators. These things are about this big, and they've got their mouth strapped.
Yeah.
Right. It was. She just wanted to know, how long were you here in Louisiana?
Oh.
Where did you stay? And I'm like, oh, I stayed with family. How long were you there? I was there 4 days. And where exactly did you visit? Well, you were in Mandeville and New Orleans. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's all she needed.
Yeah.
Just how many people? And I'm like, oh, there was a total of like 10 of us that visited, and from different parts of Texas.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. And you go in and you hold the alligators, pet them, and all that good stuff, right? But I was thinking, how is that any different than it sucks for Joe, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like he's trying to do it for all, as I said, the first podcast where we had him on, for all good reasons, right?
Sure.
And over here, I'm not saying they're mistreating the alligators, but I'm like, how's it any different than an alligator than a?
It's literally not. But the alligator is cold-blooded and the tiger is warm-blooded.
Yeah, and the other one is sponsored by the state. Which, what are you going to tell the state, right?
Yeah, the state can do whatever the fuck it wants.
Joe Schmo, literally.
Yeah.
Joe Exotic off the street, right?
It's all about can an individual make money or can
all
the
about
state
the
make
Benjamins.
money? It is. We went to Alabama and we went to Alligator Farm, but I had to pay. But I got a picture of all the kids. They're holding like a baby alligator with the mouth taped up. It's pretty common.
we got pictures, and that's fine. It's great.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, how is it any different from people saying, oh, you can't pet a cub,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't have because it's like it's a breeding farm for cubs, so you can come and pet them, and they're making money off of that.
Yeah, they only stay cubs for a little bit, and then you got to make more cubs for the next.
So you shoot them, and then you have more.
and that's why he's in jail.
Because they thought he did that. That doesn't mean he did it. And when he did do it, and that was the other thing I learned from because my daughter wants to be a veterinarian. Right?
Okay.
She wants to study veterinary medicine, like I think your
Mine
daughter
too,
does.
yeah.
And she was saying, she goes, Dad, but isn't it wrong? I said, let me ask you. I said, take your puppy, for example. Do you love her? She goes, yes. I said, do you love her a lot? She goes, yeah. I said, if something happened to your puppy and she was suffering,
Mm-hmm.
I said, like she was in agonizing pain.
Mm-hmm.
I said, do you just sit there and watch her just agonize and
Suffer,
suffer, and and she's making all kinds of noises because of the pain that she's in, or do you try to put her out of her misery?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I don't want her to suffer. I said,
Exactly.
well, you're too young to understand that the quickest and easiest thing to do is you take a gun, put it to the dog's head, shoot the dog,
Yeah.
right? Or, whatever. I said, and then the dog stops yelping and it stops suffering.
Yeah.
I said, that's no different. I said, except he did it to a tiger.
Yeah.
I said,
the 5 that he shot,
they wanted
all
him
had,
to do it.
they were old, they needed.
And they told him, do it humanely. You got to do it like that. I said, but one person's vision or idea of humane is, oh, let's put this lethal injection in him. Yeah, but unfortunately, it causes seizures, convulsions. It could take up to an hour, and it's like you said, for a person who loves tigers, you watch those tigers suffer for an hour. Fuck that shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a bullet to their head and end their suffering.
Amen.
And to me,
That's more
the
humane.
Exactly,
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And so
100%.
those are the things that you don't know. And I'm glad I was having this conversation with my daughter because she was asking about it. She's like, well, but in her mind, not having had this conversation, she would have stayed thinking that Joe Exotic was a bad person for having done what he did.
Yeah, but he only put 5 tigers out of their misery that were old and that were suffering and they needed to be put out of their misery.
But for the right reasons.
For the correct reasons. And he still had like hundreds of tigers after that.
Yeah.
Like he didn't pick out these 5 tigers because he just needed to clear out room. He just needed to put them out of the
Look, I don't need a reason to go party, right? But if he does, and hopefully he will be released.
We're going to drive to Dallas?
We'll drive to
We'll
Dallas.
do the Zesty or Tessie from Dallas?
We will, man. We'll go meet him, and
Cheers.
I would love that.
I would love that too.
Not just because I want to go party and meet Joe Exotic, but because after I've met him over the phone and
Talked to him a little bit.
learned a little bit about him, And there's two sides to every story, right?
Yeah.
Just like there's two sides to every, capital murder out
Oh,
there,
shit.
right?
Okay. What's your opinion on United Healthcare CEO? What's your opinion on that?
I mean, it's wrong.
Was he out to pasture? Did he need to get put out of his misery?
No, absolutely not. Nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody does. No, what I'm saying is, you're always going to hear you got these mass murderers, serial killers, and they're going to, they say one thing, but of course they don't want you to know the other side because they want to be able to kill you, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that what we heard from Joe, and I believe that what we heard from Joe
Is the truth.
is true.
Yeah.
Because he sounds like, he sounds like the kind of guy that just wants to get back to his life, his boyfriend, just
Raising tigers.
racing tigers and loving his partner. That's it.
Yeah. I agree.
So that's why I said, for that matter, yeah, I would like to go out there and meet him and get to know a little bit more of Joe, and yeah, it'll be fun, man. So I really do hope that for those of you that are listening, you do what you can to try to push to have him pardoned.
Yeah.
So anyway, there are some people who I do believe should be pardoned. There are some people who I don't believe should be
There are
pardoned.
people that need to be in jail for life because
Absolutely.
if they're out of jail, they're going to commit crimes like they've been doing beforehand. But I don't think Joe committed crimes against his tigers. I think he just did what a farmer would do.
Yep, and no different.
Yeah.
And for those of you who watch Tiger King, great. But you need to actually get to meet the real person because again, two sides to every story, right? So anyway, that's just my thought. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks, whether they think it's a good thing or a bad thing. I know the guy that did it. I've met him. I've spoken to him, and I hope he gets pardoned.
I would also like to condemn the murder of the United Healthcare CEO. I don't think that's how you solve your problems in a civilized world. I do think we need to get rid of insurance completely. I think if you paid your providers directly, paid the hospital directly, paid your doctor directly, it wouldn't cost so much because they wouldn't be able to charge as much because nobody can afford that shit.
Yeah.
It's the part where like you walk in thinking that you have insurance and then like insurance pays like pennies on the dollar and then you're stuck with the rest of the bill that's fucked up. If you did not have insurance, if like the doctor said, okay, it's $50 to treat you, or you got to have a major surgery, it's going to cost $1,000. Okay, well you can plan out your $1,000, make payments on it. But like fucking a $400,000 for something that costs like a few $1,000s is ridiculous.
I'm not going to go into detail, dude, but I mean, we experienced something similar to that. Not with my surgery, but here recently, my wife had to get some medication, right? And we hear all these people are getting the medication, and the person that actually needs it because she's diabetic, right?
Sure.
Has to pay like a fucking arm and a leg for it, you know? And it sucks because it's no different than, I hate to say it, but a warranty on your vehicle, right? It's like you pay for the warranty and then you show up and they're like, oh, it doesn't cover that.
Yeah.
Or like that home insurance, home warranties, right?
Yeah. Well, my dishwasher went out. Are you going to pay for it? Well,
and
no.
they're like, no, because you didn't use the right soap.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
is that the soap you've been using? Yeah.
That's not the right soap.
That's
You
not
have
the
to
right
buy
soap.
name brand
Null
soap.
and void, man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that shit happened to us, and eventually we said, fuck you guys. We got rid of our home warranty, because they're like, hey, your AC seems to be very dirty. There's got a lot of leaks.
Yeah.
So since you didn't properly maintain it, we can't really. And I'm like, you realize my fucking air conditioner's under like 3 trees, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I didn't know. I guess when you guys, when I signed the warranty, you guys didn't tell me I needed to chop down trees, 3 oaks,
exactly,
for you guys to warranty it. I'm like,
yeah,
you know what? Go fuck yourselves. Because it's like somebody told me one time, dude, the money you pay for that warranty, just save it, save it.
And then when something
happens, you have it there.
Yeah.
You're better off that way.
I agree.
And that's the same thing happens with when you get it. You buy a pre-owned vehicle, right? And it's like, you want to buy the $3,000 extended warranty? It's like he said. He goes, save $100 every month. Mm-hmm. He goes, in a year you have $1,200, 2 years you have $2,400. Something happens to your vehicle, you've got that money right there, right? Yeah. And you save yourself from having to, because that extra $3,000, it's otherwise going to be added on to the total dollar amount, and now you're financing that shit.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyway,
No,
I got off the subject, but
No, it's still on the subject.
But
It's still on the subject.
so back to your question about whether it was the right thing. Absolutely. First of all, because I'm a family guy, just like yourself, and he took down a family guy, and all for what? He didn't. The guy was not the one that said no, don't do this, or don't cover him, or do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, look, the truth is, guess what? CEOs are not there to. I'm going to tell you what a CEO I think truly does. They are the buffer between your executives
Mm-hmm.
in a company
Mm-hmm.
and the stockholders or stakeholders.
They're trying to do right
Right.
by the stockholders.
And so stockholders say, "Hey, we're not making enough money, Mr. CEO," and the CEO goes, "Hey guys, we need you guys to do something else to make us more money."
Yeah.
He doesn't take the time to go, "Hey guys, let's go ahead and see if we can raise the price on these vaccines." No, he doesn't have that control.
No.
That starts going down to your vice presidents and regional
Sure.
executives and so on and so forth,
Yeah.
right? So for the guy that did it, you fucking moron, you killed the guy that had zero say so.
He had been like less than a year as CEO of that company anyway.
Yeah, which is even worse because at that point you're just there to fix something. You haven't even had a chance to screw up something.
Yeah.
You know?
I think insurance is a scam. It's just a middleman between you and your doctor. Get rid of insurance completely. Pay your doctor directly. Yes, it's not going to be free, but no, it's not going to be fucking $400,000.
You know, that's part of the reason why my surgery took so long because I'm
Are you with the insurance company?
well, no, because I was upset over the fact that my doctor said get a biopsy. Then I went to go see she wanted me to get ultrasound, which I did, and then a biopsy. And then I go see a specialist. He goes, "We're going to have to do an ultrasound." I'm like, "Well, they already did an ultrasound.
Yeah.
Why do you need another one, right?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, we might have to biopsy." I'm like, "I already had them both done.
Yeah, no
Use
shit.
the fucking results and look at that
Figure
shit,
it out.
right?
Yeah.
Figure it out." And then later on, I spoke to my doctor and I said, "Hey, specialist wants to do this." And then she called me, and I've known my doctor for years. And when I tell you years, I'm talking like over 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And she says, and she goes, "Miss Costales," she goes, "I'm going to tell you," she goes, "specialists," and then she started explaining why it is that they do certain things certain ways. And then she made me understand that she's like, it's okay. Because in my mind, I'm so, like, tarnished by, call it that, right, by insurance companies that I feel like, you motherfuckers are just doing this to make money, right? Doctors
Exactly.
and insurance companies, right?
Yeah.
But she's like, no. She goes, specialist just wants to do it his way to understand what it is. And sure enough, when he did his biopsy, it was totally different from the first time. In fact, when he did it, I was like,
It was no longer inconclusive.
well, no, it was still inconclusive. But then he explained to me why he did it, how he did it, and then why his recommendation was still the surgery, right?
Yeah.
And you might know this, but like he said, he goes, imagine there's a nodule. I go in with a needle and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever, right? And then he goes, but what if there was
There's
something
more
wrong
shit
down here?
Yeah.
He goes, I won't be able to catch it if I'm just hitting the top or the sides, or he goes, if it's on the backside.
Sure.
And he goes, so when they did my first biopsy, it was kind of like needle, all right, and that was it. But they didn't do the other side. And so how do you determine which one's bad?
Sure.
And so I kind of understood at that point what my doctor was saying. So there's some things that I fight because I feel like you're just trying to nickel and dime me, right? And this is doctors and insurance, and then you got the insurance going, well, why do they want to do it again? I don't know.
I don't want to do it again.
I'm like,
they already
shit,
stuck me with a needle.
Fucking hurt.
I don't want to do
why
it
would
again.
I want to do it again? Trust me, I don't want to. So, I agree with you, dude. I mean, we pay too much for nothing.
Exactly. We pay too much for a middleman to fucking be middleman and to fucking delay treatments.
Yeah. Yep.
This is our Christmas episode. You want to say something Christmassy before we wrap up?
Fuck you.
No.
No.
I know we were negative a lot of the episode, but it's
Well, it wasn't negative. I think it was educational.
educational.
I would call it educational. But no.
Are we going to have another one next week?
I'm thinking we can, dude.
Okay.
As
We'll
a
be
matter of
more
fact, my wife,
Christmassy
my
that
wife was actually wanting to decorate this whole area
Oh,
for us.
fuck yeah. That'd be nice.
She even got us a nice little fire. One of those.
A fire pit in the middle?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So look, it's not Christmas yet, but he'll leave you with his own thoughts. Life goes by too fast.
Amen.
You know, you hear it in the movies. Stop and smell the coffee. Stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
Earlier today, when I was at church, I heard something, and not everybody believes in the same God. That's fine, but
Sure.
everybody believes in their own God.
Amen.
And your own God will always tell you, regardless of religion, do something for others.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
And so it seems like the holidays, the Christmas holidays and Thanksgiving came too early because it was late in the month of November, you know, and so we had less days to enjoy it. But sometimes we just forget to enjoy it because we're in such a rush, and we forget to say thank you, and we forget to treat others well. We forget to take the time to do it. That's all I can say. Take the time to. I'm not going to say this surgery changed me, but it made me realize I got to slow down, dude.
Amen.
I got to slow down.
Amen.
I still get pissed at my kids. Don't get me wrong. You know. But
well, they just did what you said the first time you asked them to.
yeah,
You wouldn't have to.
I wouldn't have to slap them around. No, but like yesterday, we did this and this and this and this for the kids, and this morning we're like, we gotta go to church, and they're, I don't want to go. I'm like, no, you want to go here, you want to go there, you want to go there. You can get ready in 5 minutes to go here and there, but you can't get ready in 10 minutes to go to mass.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
And so, but then you go, you hear this, and you realize it is the holidays. I mean, we shouldn't just do it over the holidays, but I'm just saying specifically over the holidays because Christmas holidays is a week and a half away, right? Look, stop. Just take it a day at a time. Wake up. Appreciate when you wake up in the morning. I heard this from Porky Pig. I'm going to quote Porky Pig, right?
That's all, folks.
Every day is a gamble. When you wake up in the morning, you're a winner, right?
Fucking Porky Pig said that?
Yes.
What the fuck did Porky Pig get so fucking deep?
I don't know if he got it from somebody else, but I'm quoting it because I heard it from him. So every day is a gamble. When you wake up in the morning, you're a winner.
Bro, so, Porky Pig with the fucking win. That's incredible.
I leave you guys with
That's
that.
incredible.
Would you like to add something?
Facebook keeps showing me old pictures of my kids. My kids are like young in the pictures, and I'm like, fuck, I'm past the prime of fatherhood.
Yep.
You know, my 10-year-old is starting to get to the point where she was the last one where I would get home and like she would run down when the two teenagers would be like, oh, Dad's home, who cares? Like she was still the one that would run down and go, Dad's home, Dad's home. She's past that. I'm past that. There's no kids in my life that like still run up to the front door when Daddy gets home. So I miss the days when my kids are small. And if you got small kids and they're annoying you and you're exhausted, treasure those moments because they don't last forever. They become teenagers and assholes. They become adults and then come back as friends.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to those days because right now I'm in the teenage days and
I'm in they hate me, I hate them stage, right?
But my dad, like even my dad, like I went through the teenage stage and he was like, fuck, I hate those days because you were an asshole. And like I was an asshole. But like eventually I came back and said, you know, you were right. You're right about a lot of things and I'm sorry I fought you so hard on a lot of things. And I know my kids are going to be the same way. Like they grow up and move out and then experience the real world. They're going to be like, oh shit, we were actually like really spoiled.
Yeah.
Like living with you, now I gotta pay bills and all this shit. It's like, well, welcome to adulthood. Like, you want a fucking elf dick?
Yeah. You know what? Yes. We're getting way too deep, but since you brought it up, I'm just going to share one thing.
Do it.
Thanks to TikTok, you know, the little bit that I've been staying up the last week and a half, I've been watching people post videos of the Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah.
This is the first year I don't do Elf on the Shelf, man. And I'm pretty sure last year when I did it, my kids were already like, not really him. Either way, the point is, since you said it, enjoy them because they're growing up so fast also, right? And then you're already at that stage where even your little one doesn't get excited about Dad coming home. Elf on the Shelf is a pain in the ass to those parents that are still doing it and listening to us.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's worth every moment.
Yeah.
Because I miss it, and this is my first year without it, dude.
Yeah.
And
you know what's funny? My 10-year-old is the one that took over doing Elf on the Shelf. She was hiding it every day.
Really?
Yeah, and like the older two is like, you're not supposed to touch that. You're touching it and you're ruining the magic. She's like, no, it is. Go find it.
That's cute.
You're getting warmer. You're getting colder. Fucking go find it.
Cute.
So I'm relieved that the 10-year-old took over that function this year.
I am too. So again, I leave you with a quote from Porky Pig. Every day is a gamble. Better yet, every day is a gamble. When you wake up in the morning, you're a winner.
Amen.
All right.
That's a great place.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Treasure those kids. Pop.